Coming up on this edition of cps360,
students are getting down for a good cause,
a club that's making positive changes,
and transferring athletes might miss the spotlight.
cps360 starts now.
We're rolling this.
Yo, what's up, CBS 360? This is will.i.am.
Welcome to this edition of CPS 360. I'm Laurel Critchfield.
And I'm MC Burns.
Students at Rockbridge want to make a change in the world, and what better way than to start at their own school?
Here's Ashley Adesoy with a club that's giving them a chance to do so.
On a typical Thursday night, most Rockbridge students are relaxing at home after a long day of classes. But for this group of students, staying home just isn't an option.
Student Coalition is a really cool club. I've been just involved on the fringes for the last few years, but I think if you're happy with your school, if kids can make change, and they know they can make change, they're going to be happier at school. If you're happy at school, you're going to do well at school.
Well, I think it's a really cool opportunity for students to get a chance to voice their opinion. Like, student council will say, like, there's only so many kids that can go, but for Student Coalition, it's open to everyone.
Student Coalition is a great opportunity for students to give input on making Rockbridge better. What I like is that it's student-driven. The topics aren't brought up by administration or teachers or parents. It's issues and concerns that students have. And I also think it's beneficial that the students are taking those ideas forward and trying to get them to happen.
This meeting was no exception. The members of Student Coalition divided into groups and picked aspects of Rockbridge life that they would like to improve. One issue discussed was parking rights for the upperclassmen.
I was working with Aggie and Rachel and Courtney about seniors and parking and changing the way that parents pick up sophomores in the lot and making a more like efficient way to move through parents, but also making a system for sophomores to be punished if they're caught parking in the lot more than 2 times.
Another idea proposed was the addition of street lamps to Sophomore Alley.
If you think about kids who are in any winter sport, it gets dark at like 4:30 in the afternoon. Sports are over at like 6 o'clock. And if they're a sophomore, they have to walk down Sophomore Alley, get their car, pretty late at night.
I think it's a good idea. I'm actually surprised that there aren't already street lamps out there or that someone's not pursued that before. Because honestly, it's probably kind of dangerous for sophomores that do park out there and then have after-school practice. They don't have time to move their cars. There's not a space in the lot, things like that. It's not safe.
These 2 issues were just a few of the many discussed. And while this meeting was devoted to brainstorming solutions to these issues, during the next few months, Student Coalition will work on implementing their plans.
That's the other thing that does impress me about Student Coalition is that it takes a lot of work for many of these things to become a reality. The actual details of a plan have to be thought of, potential barriers, problems that have to be solved, and in some cases it's making a proposal to the entire faculty or the school district or the city. And so there's a lot of work that goes into these to make them a reality.
Despite the hard work, club members are confident that if more people knew the workings of the Student Coalition, they would join in to help make Rockbridge even better.
I think that there's a lot of things that people would want changed around the school, but some people aren't aware that it's possible for the change. So if, say, asking them in a survey or telling them about it, if we tell them that someone is working on this and it's possible for it to change, I'm sure the kids all have these like small things that they wish they could change, but they don't know how to get that change implemented. And if they see this opportunity, then I think they would jump at it and they would be in support of it.
For the remainder of the semester, Student Coalition will continue to improve Rockbridge, making school a positive and memorable experience.
Student awareness is a huge part of the culture at Rockbridge.
Now here's Ashley again with an event that allows them to do just that.
The Rockbridge cafeteria serves up lunch almost every day, but this day they served up dinner.
The food was delicious. It was excellent. I think everybody liked it.
It's pretty excellent.
Delicious.
Awesome. Oh my God, so good.
One of the reasons it was so delicious could be because everyone in the room hadn't eaten in 24 hours.
Originally, fasting would be in the holy month of Ramadan for Muslims, but since Ramadan was in the summer, we decided to do it during the pilgrimage. There are 10 days of pilgrimage, and today's the 8th day, so it's still one of the holy days. So for us, it's just like a holy days, and it's where people non-Muslims can get a feeling of our religion, one of our core beliefs.
If understanding the Islamic religion was the goal of the Muslim Student Union, it was certainly achieved.
This is the first time I've been here, and I really liked it because I liked the presentation and just the way the Muslims and non-Muslims, they sat together and they ate and they talked and they just enjoyed the time.
I think it was kind of really cool to learn about it, and I liked all the reasons that we did it too.
It was really rewarding because so many of my friends came, and I'm really glad that they could make it, and it was really kind of inspiring to see that so many people came in support of us, and we're a minority in this country, and the media gives us a lot of bad attention, and it was kind of uplifting to see so many people here that were just showing support, and they went through the difficult day of fasting, and then they came for this, and I was really glad to see so many people.
Another goal of the event was to clear up any misconceptions associated with the Islamic faith.
That's actually one of the second main reasons for the Fastathon, is so people can learn about Muslims. And as you saw, we had a presentation about Islam, and we had posters set up around the cafeteria to help inform people about what Islam really is, and to try to help dispel rumors and misconceptions about Islam that are actually false, but are spread around by the media that people don't know if they're true or not.
I guess people really don't know that much about Islam, and they kind of have maybe a preconceived notion of it as being something that's really foreign. And so when you bring something like this, fasting, to them, or encourage them to participate in the fasting, it becomes something that's I don't know, just very real.
According to club members, the night was a huge success, and they will continue the Fastathon for years to come. For cps360, I'm Ashley Adesoy.
Wow, it sure does look like they used a lot of plates.
I hope they recycled.
Here's Craig and Garbone with a club that wants to reduce waste.
It's said that recycling one aluminum can save enough energy to run a TV for 3 hours, or the equivalent of a half-gallon of gasoline. At Rockbridge High School, Student Environmental Coalition is all about recycling to preserve our Earth.
Also want to bring about awareness of environmental issues, and we also want to just try to get people to think about environmental things like buying, a reusable type of water container instead of buying bottles all the time.
On Thursdays, members of SEC collect the recycling bins left out by teachers. Though picking up garbage does not sound very thrilling, one member actually enjoys it.
We have fun. We try to do stuff outside the community. We recycle.
It may not come as a surprise that SEC does not consist of 100 members, as other clubs do.
Usually in SEC, in Student Environmental Club, we have between 15 to 5 people. It just depends who can make it.
Right. The club is pushing to change this by teaming up with other clubs.
In the spring, my goal would be to get our recycling club and then other service organizations together to actually clean up Rockbridge.
The club hopes to clean up not only Rockbridge, but the community as well. And of course, to bring awareness to everyone about keeping the earth clean. For cps360, I'm Craig Carvalho.
That seems like a really good cause.
Here's Cooper Viles with a creative way to benefit the community.
Here at Rockbridge High School, dancing is central to many activities, and many have their favorite move.
Crank that soldier boy.
Electric slide.
Lawnmower.
Students eager to show off these moves got their fill at the first annual dance marathon. This event was sponsored by MU students to raise money for the MU Children's Hospital.
Well, I'm part of the community outreach team, which basically involves getting other people around the Columbia community involved with MU Dance Marathon, and so Rockbridge is obviously a vibrant part of the Columbia community.
The rules were simple. Stay standing for 6 hours without checking time or drinking caffeine. These rules were to symbolize the struggle each family goes through when dealing with pediatric cancer treatment.
Whenever they were born, they had to be resuscitated at birth with CPR and ventilations, and on Bryce, that caused him to have a severe head bleed, which is a stroke on both sides of his brain. public was grim. They didn't think he would, if he made it, they didn't think he would ever walk or talk.
Each hour had a different theme to keep students' energy level pumped up. The event raised over $1,900 for the kids, which was a thrill for the MU sponsors. Rockbridge students are looking forward to next year's dance marathon and have vowed to shake it even longer. For CPS 360, I'm Cooper Biles.
Speaking of marathons, here's Madison May.
A marathon is not only physically challenging, but mentally as well.
The challenge of all the training that goes into it, and then your own doubts that you have on if you can do it or not.
This year's Olympic trials, native Angie Turner took her Olympic dreams to Houston to compete against the best marathoners in the country.
During the race, running in the top 20, running up in the front and seeing the back of the bibs with all the U.S. Olympic trials on the bibs was probably the most awesome part.
While thousands made the trip to Houston to watch the race, Coach Joe Company knows how significant a race like the trials can be.
Being at the Olympic trials and being in the Olympic atmosphere again, even as a coach, so not even being an athlete, it was very inspiring.
Due to injury, Angie was forced to stop after 13 miles, but she hasn't given up her dream. She plans to race in the 2016 trials, and next time, hopefully she'll have support.
Would like nothing more than to help others get to the Olympic trials. So the idea of having a group in Columbia or people in the area that I can work with that are Olympic trials caliber would be very cool, and it's a vision that I'm dreaming up ways to make that happen.
The 500 men and women that qualified for today's Olympic trials, 6 will continue on to represent USA this summer in London. For CPS 360, I'm Madison May.
That's amazing.
A lot of athletes have to overcome obstacles to achieve their goals.
Here's Brad Meister with the story.
Sophomore Rockbridge cross-country runner Joanna Zhang was excited when she earned a spot on the varsity team.
And this year I made the 7th spot of varsity in cross-country, but I had to stay on junior varsity because of the MISHA rule. And this upcoming spring for track, regardless of whether I make varsity or not, I'll still be JV.
The athletic transfer policy isn't as lenient as people think. Athletes have to sit out a varsity competition 1 year before they can play for their desired school.
If you transfer from one school to another, no matter how that happens, whether it's by a move or an inter-district transfer or even moving from a junior high to a high school, that's one school to another, that transfer makes you ineligible immediately.
For Joanna, the chance to compete on the varsity level is worth the wait, but it doesn't mean she's happy about it.
I was really upset because in previous years cross country at Rockbridge, then the highest the girls have ever placed in state was 8th, and before state there was a lot of hype about it, and we were potentially going to place first in state in boys and girls. What ended up happening was that the boys placed first in state and the girls placed second. And before state, I really was freaking out because I really wanted to be on the team that did really well for the first time in Rockbridge history.
For student athletes like Joanna who want to transfer from one school to another, they have to pay the price and sit out a year, at least from the varsity level. For CPS 360, I'm Brad Meister.
Thanks, Brad.
We all remember Snowpocalypse that happened last year.
Thank goodness that hasn't happened again.
Here's Ross Parks with a scoop on snow days.
Despite the frequently warm weather, believe it or not, it's winter. This often means snow and therefore snow days. However, only one has been called, even though wintry weather has occurred. Mother Nature pulled a fast one on the early morning hours of December 6th. Nearly 2 inches fell by 6:45 a.m., creating slippery roads and causing a traffic mess.
We tried multiple times, and we witnessed a wreck right before us, so we went home.
With many students hours late to school, including buses that arrived around 12, many asked why school wasn't canceled that day.
But I think a lot of that was more due to the timing of when that weather event occurred. It came like 5:45, 6 o'clock, and at that point it's really too late to cancel school. But a snow day is where they cancel school either really early in the morning or even better the night before.
However, these facts didn't apply to December 6th. Due to the early morning snowfall, some students who ride the bus ended up seeking medical attention rather than higher education.
There was a school bus that went by at 11 o'clock, And then there was a school bus on its side where they evacuated the kids, but the school bus was there till the end of the day.
Columbia Public Schools has 6 snow days built into the school calendar. If they're not used, school lets out earlier than scheduled. For CPS 360, I'm Ross Parks.
Winter's not over yet.
No, but college for some seniors is right around the corner.
And so is financial help. Here's Alex McDonald with the dollars and cents.
The question was simple. Hey, Skylar. Hey. Do you know what FAFSA is?
No.
Do you know what FAFSA is?
I have no idea.
Hey, Sydney, do you know what FAFSA is?
Fast?
FAFSA.
No.
Do you know what FAFSA is?
I can't say I do.
Hey, Lexi. Hey, do you know what FAFSA is?
FAFSA? Kind of. I just know it has something to do with college.
Awesome.
And money, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Justin, do you know what FAFSA is?
No idea.
Brett, do you know what FAFSA is?
What FAFSA is? No.
FAFSA is a free application for federal student aid, and what you do is you go online and you apply, and then based on your financial situation, it determines if you're eligible for grants from the government.
Experts will be available to help with questions during the FAFSA Frenzy at the Columbia Area Career Center on February 18th from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Just by showing up and filling out the FAFSA form, you will have the chance to win one of 9 $500 scholarships that will be given out that morning. So come out and join the frenzy.
Thanks for watching CPS 360. I'm Laurel Critchfield.
And I'm MC Burns.
See you next month.